So picture this. You've got this charming little Havanese just trotting through the house. They hop right up onto your lap, maybe hoping for a snack, and they just curl up right in the middle of a family conversation.
Oh, yeah. It looks perfectly normal, right? Like the absolute picture of cozy domestic life.
Exactly. To the untrained eye, it's just a cute dog doing cute dog things. But welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission, and we're pulling from our source notes titled Havanese Episode 05 today, is to learn how to translate all that overwhelming Havanese charm into actual tangible health signals.
Right, because we aren't trying to build some scary list of diseases here. We're really just decoding the specific physical and behavioral language of this specific breed.
Yeah, and because this breed has been bred for centuries to live so incredibly close to its people, I mean, you, as the listener, you have a massive advantage here.
You do. But, well, that closeness is sort of a double-edged sword. It's a huge advantage, but it can also completely blind you.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand this breed's health, we have to kind of look past that massive personality.
We really do. And I think that's why we have to start with the mind and their behavior.
Right, because the source material explicitly notes that misreading behavior is, like, the biggest hurdle for Havanese owners.
Totally. What's fascinating here is that a dog bred specifically for closeness, they use their behavior as their primary communication tool.
So they're incredibly social and, like, very emotionally expressive.
Exactly. So an owner's first instinct is often to view the dog as, well, a dramatic human.
Right, we anthropomorphize them constantly.
We do. We assume sudden clinginess or withdrawal or them suddenly being irritable is just a mood or a phase.
Like, oh, he's just being grumpy today.
Right. Or, resisting grooming or even a fully house-trained dog suddenly having accidents inside. We label it as spite or an attitude problem.
But wait, I have to play devil's advocate for a second here. Because anyone who has owned a small dog knows they can be deeply opinionated.
Oh, absolutely. They have big personalities.
So aren't some of them just natural divas? Like, if a dog suddenly growls when you try to pick them up, isn't that just them establishing boundaries?
I get why it looks that way.
It feels a lot like a toddler throwing a tantrum in a grocery store. You look at them and think,
Yeah.
is this pure attitude, or do they just have an earache?
Well, the toddler analogy is actually perfect.
Yeah.
Because toddlers also lack the vocabulary to explain localized pain.
Yeah.
Right? They just act out.
That makes a lot of sense.
But the key differentiator here is the suddenness. Sudden shifts are red flags, not just personality updates.
Oh, okay.
If a dog has always been a bit aloof, they might just be aloof. But if they suddenly change, that's when you worry. Pain, nausea, itchiness, or even heat distress, they all show up first as a behavioral shift.
So the behavioral quirk might actually be physical pain.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so now that we know that, we need to move to the physical side because the source points out two common structural areas where this hidden pain usually originates in small dogs.
Yes, the mouth and the knees. The classic small dog vulnerabilities.
Let's start with the mouth. The notes mention small mouths, crowded teeth, and retained baby teeth. That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is a massive risk. You're dealing with an anatomical bottleneck. Their mouths got smaller, but the teeth didn't shrink proportionally.
So they're just packed in there.
Exactly. And bad breath is constantly and wrongly dismissed as just a small dog trait. Like it's just a funny quirk.
Yeah, I hear people joke about dog breath all the time. But it's not a cosmetic issue, is it?
Not at all. It's an active, persistent infection. The bacteria forms a biofilm, and it gets trapped in those crowded teeth.
So if my dog becomes incredibly picky about their kibble, they aren't necessarily holding out for a steak.
Right.
They might literally just have a toothache.
Exactly. You might see them chewing on just one side of their mouth or dropping food on the floor.
Oh, wow. Or pawing at their mouth, maybe.
Yes, pawing the mouth or suddenly avoiding textures they used to love. Biologically, they are managing chronic pain.
That reframes the whole picky eater thing completely.
It really does.
Okay, so that's the front end. Now what about the knees? The notes mention patelloluxation. What exactly is that?
It's basically a structural misalignment. The patella, or the kneecap, isn't tracking properly in its groove.
Okay.
In a lot of small breeds, the groove at the bottom of the femur is genetically shallower than it should be. So when they move, the kneecap just slips out of place.
So it's sort of like a car's check engine light. You wouldn't ignore a rattling sound in your engine just because the car still drives.
That is a great way to look at it.
So we shouldn't ignore a skipping back leg just because they put the foot down a second later.
Precisely. A skip step isn't just a cute little trot. It's a structural failure. You might see them skip a step, occasionally limp, or show a sudden reluctance to jump onto the couch.
And the environment plays a big role here, right?
A huge role. Things like rugs on slick floors, using ramps for furniture instead of letting them jump, and avoiding really rough twisting play, those are crucial to protect their knees.
Because slipping on hardwood is basically like an ice rink for them.
Exactly. Every time they slip, that kneecap pops out and causes wear and tear.
Ouch. Okay, so we've talked about the bones and teeth underneath. Let's move to the exterior. The famous Havanese coat.
Yes, the glamorous coat.
It's beautiful, but the notes say it actually actively hides health data from you.
It acts as a remarkably effective mask. That beautiful hair easily hides weight gain or painful mats that pull on the skin.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it hides lumps, scabs, and hot spots. You lose all visual perspective of their true body condition.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. I was thinking of an analogy. The coat is almost like a heavy winter parka.
Oh, I like that.
Like, you can't tell if someone has gained 10 pounds or if they have a bruise on their arm if they literally never take the jacket off.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yes.
Which is why grooming has to be totally reframed.
Reframed how?
It is not a beauty routine. It is a vital hands-on health diagnostic. You have to use the brush to part the parka, so to speak, and physically inspect the skin.
Okay, so while we're parting the parka, what skin and ear issues are we looking out for?
You want to watch for excessive licking, chewing at the paws, obvious redness, and definitely ear odor or head shaking.
And the causes for those can be pretty varied, right?
To vary. It ranges from environmental allergies to moisture trapped under the coat, all the way to parasites.
So let me ask you this. Is it okay to just switch their shampoo or switch their food if they are constantly scratching? Like, run to the pet store and buy an oatmeal bath?
No, I strongly advise against that. Blind product switching muddies the diagnostic waters terribly.
Really? Even just a mild shampoo?
Yes. If you start changing variables before you see a vet, it makes it much harder for them to isolate the actual root cause of the itchiness.
That makes total sense. You're just masking the symptom.
Exactly. Now, on the topic of the coat, we also have to talk about the eyes.
Right. Tear staining is incredibly common in light-coated dogs.
It is, and often it's purely cosmetic, just a reaction to the tears.
But not all.
No. Changes like sudden discharge, squinting, frantic rubbing of the face, cloudiness, or sudden signs of pain, those are genuine emergencies.
Wow. Emergencies.
Yes. With eyes, there is zero room for a wait-and-see approach. A scratch can ulcerate very quickly, and never, ever put any products near the eyes or in the ears without explicit vet guidance.
So no over-the-counter wipes, just to clear it up.
Definitely not. Not unless your vet specifically says it's okay for that exact issue.
Okay, good to know. So we've checked the coat and the structure. Let's look at the internal engine now. What happens when the fuel system, their digestion, and the exhaust system, their breathing, start acting up?
Well, the most critical thing to understand here is that small dogs crash and dehydrate much faster than large dogs.
Right. They don't have the same reserve.
Exactly. If they refuse to eat or have vomiting and diarrhea or severe lethargy, it escalates very quickly.
And what about breathing and stamina?
You want to watch for coughing, excessive panting, reduced stamina, pale or blue gums, and heat intolerance.
Blue gums.
Yes, which indicates a lack of oxygen. And we have to connect the dogs back to weight here.
Because the extra weight is hidden by the coat.
Right. That extra weight stresses the already vulnerable knees, the patellar luxation we talked about, and it severely strains their breathing.
That sounds terrifying. Okay, I'm hearing blue gums and seizures, and I'm starting to panic a little bit for the listeners.
I know, it sounds intense.
Can we dial it back just a second? How do we tell the difference between a dog that is just, tired from a long walk in the sun, and a dog showing dangerous reduced stamina?
That's a really good question. A healthy, tired dog pants to cool down, rests, and recovers relatively quickly.
Okay.
A dog with dangerous reduced stamina is going to be disproportionately exhausted compared to the effort they put in. They might struggle to recover, or they might cough persistently after mild exercise.
Got it. It's about knowing what's normal for them.
Yes. And we have to mention puppies specifically here, too.
Oh, right, because their metabolism is working overtime.
Exactly. Puppies change incredibly fast. If you see poor growth, unusual weakness, tremors, seizures, or if they act strange or disoriented after eating, that requires early evaluation.
So no waiting it out with a puppy.
Never wait it out with a puppy. Metabolic issues can be severe.
Okay, so with all these potential signals, from a skip step to bad breath to stamina issues, How does a typical owner manage this without becoming an anxious helicopter parent?
Well, you need a system.
A system. What does that look like?
First, look at their history. Ask breeders about family history, specifically dental issues, knees, and eyes.
And if you adopt a rescue?
If you adopt, you need to establish a comprehensive vet baseline early on. Go in before they are sick.
Right. And then what? Just keep a journal?
Basically, yes. Track their weight, dental findings, grooming notes, eye changes, and behavior over time.
It's a lot to remember.
It is, which is why tools like the Vital Pet app are so helpful. They help organize symptoms, medications, and care reminders, so you aren't just relying on your memory when you're stressed.
Because if you're at the vet and they ask when the limping started, you might say, last week. But the app says it was 3 weeks ago.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, vets need patterns, not snapshots.
Wait, I love that. Patterns, not snapshots.
Yes. A single skip step on a walk is a snapshot. But skipping a step every Tuesday after you take a specific route, that is a pattern.
That makes total sense. But is the goal here to basically become an amateur veterinarian? Like, should I be feeling their joints and trying to diagnose them?
No, definitely not. The goal is to be a professional observer.
I like that distinction.
You gather the data because you live with the dog. You present the data. The vet makes the diagnosis.
Right, we're just data collection.
Exactly. And you need to know when to call the vet. There are clear red flags where you stop observing and make the call.
Let's list those out so people have a mental checklist. Refusal to eat.
Yes, complete refusal, also repeated vomiting or diarrhea, any presence of blood, severe lethargy, or collapse.
What about coughing?
Persistent coughing, definitely. Also intense eye redness or squinting, unexplained weight loss, toxic exposure, or those sudden behavior shifts we talked about at the beginning.
Right, the sudden aggression or clinginess. Okay, so to synthesize all this, I think the core message here is that health awareness isn't fear.
Not at all.
It's really just love with attention. Bad breath isn't a quirky personality trait, and a skip step is actually vital information.
Exactly.
Because this breed lives so close to you, your attention really is their greatest health asset.
It's the best tool you have.
Yeah. And, once you understand the body, the natural next step is the mind. So in our next deep dive, we are going to explore Havanese behavior in a lot more detail.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
We'll be looking at attachment, separation distress, and their trainability. But before we go, do you have a final thought to leave us with?
I do, and it's something I want listeners to really mull over. If companion breeds like the Havanese have been selectively bred over centuries to perfectly mimic human emotions and bond with us so deeply, are we actually doing them a disservice by projecting human psychology onto them?
Oh, wow.
When we assume a dog is acting spiteful or dramatic, perhaps it's our own human ego blinding us to their basic biological reality. What if the most compassionate thing you can do for your dog is to stop treating them like a tiny human and start listening to them as an animal?
That is heavy, but so true. It completely changes how you look at them. Well, thank you so much for breaking all this down. Just a quick reminder to everyone listening, this audio is for educational purposes only. If you're ever concerned about your dog's health, always consult your veterinarian. We will catch you on the next one.